Hi, I'm Vaughn Peterson, founder and CEO of Cambeo. We are extremely pleased to be partnering with great industry thought leaders to bring content to increase the success of every dental practice. Following is a sampling of brief clips from these wonderful partners.
My name is Leslie Cannon, and today the topic is OSHA bloodborne pathogen training. See, our objectives with this course today are to meet your annual bloodborne pathogen training requirements, to make sure that we can identify hazards in a dental office, and so you can manage an exposure incident. You see, every single dentist is at risk every single day of being investigated or shut down for not following regulations such as OSHA. So we want to make certain that we have the steps in hand to respond to an exposure incident, to respond to an OSHA investigation, and simply to keep our practice and our team safe.
We're talking about the difference between people being entertained when they're in a practice and making a choice to do business there, or how we keep people engaged in the process. One of the things we don't do is we do not place a patient bib on a patient. We don't do it until he's about to start the exam. Because once you place that bib, the patient is no longer in control. Once you place the bib, we see people, you've seen their bodies,
Sure.
Their whole body language changes. They get anxious and it's like, okay, the exam started. So we don't do any of that until we're at a different place.
Well, and really until you have permission.
That's exactly right. So, either Chuck will say it or I will or Brittany will, whoever the assistant is in with him, will say, now that we understand XYZ, Melinda, and we've heard you say that you really just want to be comfortable today, you want to get this tooth out, and you know that, you need to do whatever you need to do to replace it, but you're in so much pain, you just want the tooth out. I'd like permission to go ahead and place this patient bib so Dr. Majors can take a look. Does that sound okay? And many times he'll say, Melinda, I know you're here for the one tooth. Do I have permission to start the exam? And listen, if I see anything else, do I have permission to share that with you?
Jeff Palmer here, founder of Case Acceptance Academy, where we train dentists and their team on a totally predictable system to improve their case acceptance. And what I want to go over with you today is something called the promise. And this can be used when you're scheduling new patients to virtually eliminate last-minute cancellations and no-shows. And the way the promise works is that after you have the patient scheduled, you ask them a question. And it goes something like this. Mrs. Jones, we have you scheduled on Tuesday at 2 o'clock with the doctor. Would you promise to give me a call back well in advance if something comes up so I can give your appointment to somebody else that may be waiting? And then you pause and you wait for an answer. And usually before you can even finish getting the words out of your mouth, the patient's going to say, oh, yes, 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 of course. And what's going to happen is you're going to have more people showing up because you've asked them to promise, and most people want to keep their promises. And psychologically, what they're thinking is that if they don't show up, you could have given that appointment to somebody else. It's not for the doctor, it's not for you, it's not for the office, it's for another patient.
Part of the reason is because it is a legal issue. It is an issue that also may make you vulnerable as an employer, and you want to ensure that there's compliance and consistency in how these are handled. Also, some questions that you want to ask the person as you are doing the investigation. You always want to know who. Who was the person that was involved, whether it was one person or several people. So you want to know who are the culprits. You also want to know what happened. You want to know when it happened, and you want them to be as specific as possible. You want to find out where. Get some specifics around the place, the environment. Was it in a meeting? Who else was involved at the meeting? Even if they weren't involved in the direct harassment, you want to get people who might have been privy to or a party to or even a witness to.